Tom, the coronavirus was a challenge for most industries, and I imagine it was very much the same for running an academy. So just let us know a little bit about those challenges over the past 4 months.
Yeah, like you say, been challenging in a number of different ways. We've had some staff that have been on furlough, some staff that haven't. So the staff that both have and haven't have been working really hard in terms of player engagement and trying to stay engaged with the players and the parents and inform them of what's going on, what will be going on, and obviously having a touch point for the players and parents from a wellbeing perspective as well. So that's been really important. It's been a tough time for everybody naturally, but it's been one that has not been all bad. It's given us an opportunity to reflect, to review the whole academy process, what we're doing well, or what we think we're doing well, what we can do a little bit better. And yeah, we're probably at the stage now where we're hopefully coming out the back end of that and can move forward positively, having been through an experience which has been good and bad in different ways, but one we can learn from and hopefully look forward to the new season. Just
in terms of that working environment, you obviously mentioned about the staff being away on furlough for a period. Usually you'd get to see the players obviously every week. How has that sort of changed? How have you got around that? And how, you've touched upon the virtual world there, how did you make use of that technology to make sure that players, staff and even parents were engaged throughout that period?
Yeah, it's been challenging. It's very much virtual now, or has been certainly, and there's certain restrictions even with the players being back in at the moment, where it's not quite as hands-on and that type of thing as it was prior to the pandemic. But lots of Zooms, lots of WhatsApps, lots of videos being sent in from the players doing lots of homework challenges. That might be as football related as skills, tricks, keepy-ups, chipping it into a bin, things like that, which is obviously entertaining for everybody. It might be sending in photos of them baking a cake and doing things sort of part of their life skills programme. And obviously we've been really proud of some of the players and some of the parents that have done a lot towards raising money for charities and things like that. So it's been really interesting, really varied, really different, something that I think we're all getting used to a little bit, waiting for people to log into a meeting and stuff like that. So I think we're trying to find a bit of a balance now between remaining with those processes which everybody can benefit from, but also having a bit of a personal touch now to meeting people, speaking to people and having that interaction that I guess everyone's been craving for quite some time.
You mentioned the process of return there, and like you say, it's not a quick thing. It's probably a slow burner, if you like. Just gives you a bit of an idea of which age groups are back now and where they're at essentially.
Yeah, we've had a lot of sort of online consultations with the Football League and football authorities over the last few months. There was a period where it was Zoom call after Zoom call after Zoom call with different drafts coming through and protocols that obviously we need to adhere to. So where we are at the moment is our scholars, so under 18 players have been in for a few weeks now since the start of August. Excuse me. They did actually start their scholarship, the new first years, at the beginning of July. Spent the first month doing their education remotely, so doing that from home, as well as some physical and technical work that the PDP staff put them through. They're now back in, so they're training at a different time to the first team because of protocol at the training ground. They've just started their first couple of pre-season fixtures, which has been really nice. Again, arriving in kit, getting changed outside next to a dugout is all new to everybody, or it's been a long time since a lot of them were in that type of environment, so that's different. Our schoolboy players, so our under-16s down, are training once a week at the moment and going through a stage 1 process whereby it's all very technical based, no contact or non-contact, semi-opposed, bits and pieces like that, before then returning fully, hopefully, touch wood, in September, where we can get back to opposed sessions whereby the lads can play some small-sided games and that type of thing, which is obviously what they love doing and what they've probably missed through not seeing their friends and their teammates throughout this lockdown period.
Just away from the players and back towards the staff, obviously a few changes in that regard. Just talk us through those.
Yeah, we've had quite a big staff turnover in the last 12 to 18 months, and something that we were really mindful in making sure that whenever we are making a new appointment through somebody leaving for a whole number of reasons, and that we get it right. We want to get the right person. it's a big part of our academy vision, that the environment's right, so we want people that believe in our environment and play a huge part in developing that for both the players and the staff. Adam Bridgeford was a member of staff that left the club as head of coaching at the turn of the year, or just after the new year. Went on to Coventry City and went with our well wishes. He did some brilliant things for the academy and sort of missed, if you like, and was a bit of a dent in what we thought we were driving. But we've replaced him with a gentleman called Pete Gill, really experienced coach. Has been a previous academy manager as well, so from a personal point of view he's a brilliant person to have alongside me as a touch point to help get some opinions and things around what we obviously want to do. But he's now taken up the role as head of coaching, which is a position actually funded by the Premier League at all respective academies, where he'll oversee the coaches' development as well as player development, the games programme, the tour programme and things such as that. So we're obviously delighted to have him be part of the team. He's been with us for a while, although obviously his start was slightly different to probably what he and we expected, so that's been great. We've also made it a full-time appointment in a new academy analyst in Ben Small. Fantastic guy, work ethic unbelievable, attention to detail fantastic. Some of the things that he produces for our youth team players on a daily, weekly basis was stuff that I wish that I had when I played. It's been great, and he also does that alongside coaching some of our youngest foundation phase players. So again, people that we want in the building, we want to interact with the players and with the parents, and so far so good. They're having a huge impact positively on the academy now we've returned, and naturally as the season progresses, hopefully that will continue when we get a larger amount of contact time with the players both on and off the pitch.
Absolutely, two high quality appointments there coming into the club. Just in terms of people departing the club, a few players over the course of the last few months departing to go on to clubs playing at a higher level. So just talk us through those.
Yeah, obviously we've got an academy vision and a club vision where we want to have players progress both internally and externally. So we've obviously got boys like Lewis Simper and Tom Dickens who recently signed their professional contracts last season coming out of their scholarship. We've got boys such as Liam Bennett and Jake Battersby who, within our collaboration at St Neots, will hopefully progress through into the first team, as Leon, Harry have done, and hopefully the likes of Ben Warman and Joe Neal can get closer to that this year. But obviously we want players to be able to come through our academy and play out on the pitch here at the Abbey Stadium, and that's a massive thing for us. It's a brilliant thing for the players to see their role models being able to do that. For parents, it's fantastic to see that there is a pathway for our young children to be able to do. But naturally, there's also a pathway for players to do that externally as well. We've had players in the past that have left partway through their schoolboy or scholarship programme to go on to clubs further up the sort of football pyramid, if you like. And it's brilliant to see actually now some of those boys pushing into under 23 and knocking on the door of some of the biggest first teams in the country. So we lost a few boys over that summer period. I must say that although we've lost some boys, there were a number of boys that were also asked to be signed for other clubs, but their parents and families decided that it wasn't right for them. And that's a big thing for us as well. It's making sure that if somebody or if a player were to leave the football club at any point, that it's not just because it's a bigger club and it's an opportunity. It's making sure that it's the right opportunity and the right football club. So we've lost 4 boys to Norwich City throughout the schoolboy programme. I must say that Jay Marshall at Norwich contacted the club and conducted themselves in a really professional manner, which is why we felt it was a necessary thing to follow up. And we wish those boys well. Obviously, they're still of a very young age. They've got a long way to go. And it's a brilliant opportunity for them, and one that their families and parents thought that that's something they wanted to pursue. So obviously we're really happy to support them with that, and they know that we're here, even though they're no longer Cambridge United players. They're part of the club, or they've been part of the academy for some years now, so if they need support with anything, we're here to help as sort of impartial as we can be. Another player which has obviously been in the social media and stuff like that recently is a boy called Mbunye Alamanji. So Mbunye was a player that was with us for a number of years as well. and probably through his decision and through his parents' decision was unlikely that he was going to continue being a Cambridge United player just post school, so going into his scholarship years. So when him and his family came up with that decision that it looked likely that his football was going to take place elsewhere, we obviously wanted to make sure that that was the right thing for him, it was the right thing for the football club. The football club were compensated in the correct way that they would do through EBBB guidelines. And obviously it's to go to a club such as AS Roma in Italy and Serie A, which is a fairly unusual pathway for a player that's used to wearing a Cambridge United shirt, being such a fantastic opportunity for him. We wanted to obviously make sure that we did the right thing by him, by his family, to give him that opportunity. And we obviously, like I said with the other boys, we wish him well, and it'll be interesting to see how his career sort of develops overseas. So yeah, something that is, without going over old ground too much, we're really excited about players playing here at the Abbey. We're excited to be able to offer opportunities to players that might play elsewhere. And yeah, long sort of may that continue really.
Absolutely, all good examples of how the Cambridge United Academy can open up many opportunities in different pathways. Just finally, obviously touched upon the challenges earlier of COVID and the impact that had across the summer months. What's the impact in that looking forward, and how has that sort of altered your plans for the season ahead?
Yeah, obviously each season we'll have a review, a quite in-depth review of what obviously we've done well, what we've not done so well. We've had more time on our hands to be able to delve in a little bit deeper with that this summer just gone. But we sort of thought it was a really good way as a group of staff to break that down into a few stages. So in the initial stages, in terms of that peer-to-peer interaction for the players and the parents and the staff was really key. To be sat behind a computer screen while speaking to their teammates just simply isn't the same as, although it's the best we could do, it isn't the same as interacting with them. So when the boys have come back to training, albeit obviously they can't tackle and things like that at the moment, it's to try and make it as fun as and engaging, and actually to be as player-led as possible. I'm sure parents would probably vouch for, over the last few months, a lot of their interaction for the players as being with adults, people that are older than them, being told what to do, not in a bad way, but naturally they obviously do your schoolwork, you've got to stick to this quite stringent regime, whereas obviously we wanted to try and get away from that for a good few weeks, so that they can come and play and have the freedom to express themselves with the ball and without the ball, and see their friends, and yeah, just kind of get back to some sort of normality where possible. And that's for the staff as well. And being mindful of people being off work or having a different work regime, to not have staff burnout by October half term because everybody's so excited about coming back that we do too much. So having a bit of a gradual process with that, as well as the knock-on effect with all the other departments. So how much that the boys have missed school and education. So with our hybrid model where we have a day release programme for our under-16s, we've slightly tweaked that so that they go back to school in September and have a full week, a full term at school, so that we don't have any detrimental effect on their academic progress. So there's lots of sort of short-term gains and goals that we want to try and achieve. Obviously the Academy vision is to try and ensure that we create an environment which is for all of our players to achieve their highest level both on and off the pitch. That doesn't change. How we get the players to pursue that, how we sort of interact with the players to achieve that, it is kind of, let's see how we go over this short-term period before we start setting massive goals for players to achieve over the long term, because naturally players and parents will deal with this in different ways and at different speeds, so it's kind of play it by ear. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We've been away for quite some time. I know the boys are looking forward to it. The Scholars played a game against Ipswich this weekend just gone. It was fantastic to see. There were no goals, mind you, but there was plenty of goal-mouth action for us to get excited about. We want to be like the fans, come here, watch the game, watch the first team game, support Mark and the team. Obviously it's great to have Gary in the building alongside Barry, working with the players that maybe, as well as being in the first team, are just on the fringes of it as well, so there's excitement there to have new staff in the building. So it's an exciting time to be part of Cambridge United. It's just a case of letting the kids tackle, letting them play in games, and yeah, seeing how we go, and we're really excited for it.